subscribe before you close your eyes. For today's video, I have part 2 of the Thrifted book Jackpot. So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 more books. 10 more books to show you. I hope that you are doing super well, and I hope that you are able to relax. So get cozy and let's jump into this little book haul. So the first book I have to show you is a murder mystery. It's part of a series, and I have quite a few of them. Actually, they're on that top shelf up there. This is called Seven Sisters, and it's written by Erlene Fowler. It's a Benny Harper mystery. So these kind of take place in like a rural, like farming area. They all kind of take place, you know, in a rural farming community, and Benny Harper is the main character. She's kind of like the sleuth, like the amateur sleuth that solves all these murders in her area. So the back says, meet Benny Harper, a spirited ex-cowgirl, quilter and folk art expert who's taking out her own corner of the contemporary American West. She's got an eye for murderous designs and a talent for piecing together the most complex and cold-blooded crimes. When Benny's stepson announces his plans to marry into the wealthy, influential Brown family, she and her husband are invited to the Browns' sprawling ranch, Seven Sisters, to celebrate the engagement. But the party takes a tragic turn when a member of the esteemed family is murdered. While trying to unravel the feuding clan's tangled past, Benny uncovers a shocking pattern of tragedy and stitches a hodgepodge of clues into a very disturbing design. So these are like quilting stars, and there's a picture of like a cornfield with a big house at the back, and then like 7 mountain peaks. That must be why it's called Seven Sisters, the farm. And then there's like a gun laying on the ground in a vegetable patch. So let's see when these books were coming out. This one is 2000, the year 2000. Okay, so the next one is by Mary Higgins Clark. So another murder mystery. That's kind of my favorite genre, other than like historical books. So it says, "Where are you now?" There's a picture of a bridge. I don't know which bridge. I'm sure we'll find out when we read the back. So, 10 years ago, 21-year-old Columbia University senior Charles McKenzie Jr. walked out of his Manhattan apartment without a word to his roommates and disappeared. He calls his mother once a year on Mother's Day, but refuses to answer her frantic questions. This year, when he calls, Mac's sister Carolyn tragic warning note and the angry protests of her mother, Carolyn swiftly plunges into a world of unexpected danger and unanswered questions. What do Mac's old roommates, a charismatic club owner and a wealthy real estate tycoon, know about his disappearance? Can the police possibly believe that Mac is a shadowy predator or even a murderer? Carolyn's passionate search for the truth leads her into a deadly confrontation with someone close to her whose secret he cannot allow her to reveal. Okay, so it must be... Is this the Brooklyn Bridge? I don't know. I've been to New York several times, but in terms of like recognizing the bridges, it's just, they all look the same to me. I'm not like a bridge person, so I don't like necessarily, when I look at it, I'm not like seeing distinct features, I guess. I know some people are really into bridges and they would definitely be like, oh, that's that bridge, but they all just look like a bridge to me. The only one I could probably pick out, because it's just so distinctive, like the characteristics of it, is like the London Bridge. It just has a very distinct like silhouette. Okay, so this one is called The Perfect Murder. Perfect like a cat purring. By Rita Mae Brown and Sneaky Pie Brown. Sneaky Pie Brown, that's an interesting name. So let's see. When did this one come out? Oh, this one must have been in a library at one point, because it's got like a little card, but it's never been checked out. Maybe that's why the library got rid of it. 2008. This one is from 2008. So it's autumn in cozy, idyllic Crozet, Virginia, a time for golden days, crisp nights, and murder. Mrs. Carla Paulson is one of the diamond-encrusted come-here set who has descended on Crozet with plenty of wealth and no feeling for country ways. She's determined to make her new house the envy of all her well-heeled friends and enemies, and she's hired architect Tazio Chappers to build it. From the start, the project and Mrs. Paulson are a major headache for all involved, but no one could foresee that it would end with Mrs. Paulson stabbed to death at a gala fundraiser, with Harry's friend Tazio standing over her, holding the knife. Now Harry must solve what seems to be everyone else an open and shut case. Her four-legged partners, sleuthing cats, Mrs. Murphy, and Pewter, and Corgi T. Tucker, see it Harry's way, but will they have to choose between catching the perfect killer and saving Harry? I might save this one for like next fall time, because it's set during autumn, so I might do that. Okay, so the next one is like a nonfiction book. It's about how the House and Senate work. So it's just called House and Senate by Ross K. Baker. Okay, so the first comprehensive and systematic comparison of the two houses of the U.S. Congress, House and Senate, has long been a success in both Congress and American government courses. With his unique approach, interviews with senators who were formerly members of the House, as well as with journalists, lobbyists, and staff members, Ross K. Baker paints a clear and colorful portrait of the two houses, which remain distinct and often antagonistic partners. The new third edition includes interviews with highly visible Washington personalities, such as Senators Christopher Dodd and Thad Cochran, and journalists Cookie Roberts and Chris Matthews. Baker concludes his book with a new chapter, long case study of President Bill Clinton's impeachment and trial, which beautifully illustrates the striking differences between the two chambers, exploring everything from the very different physical settings of the House and Senate to the important distinctions that emerge from the vast differences in the size of their memberships. Baker allows the reader to peek into colorful and hidden corners of Capitol Hill. Unlike any other book on the market, House and Senate goes beyond basic facts, offering an insider's view of the two chambers, a perfect supplement for a course in American politics. So, my degree is in political science, and I've always been super interested in everything to do with, government, not just American government, but all styles of government. Like, I love learning about government in general, and I don't know, I find it super interesting. I always have. That's why I majored in it. So I do like to do, personal reading about all of those kind of topics. So I'm excited to check that one out. And then I have this one next, which I also think is going to be really good for next fall, to save this one for next fall. This is called The Witch of Willow Hall. Centuries after the Salem witch trials, there's still one witch left in Massachusetts, but she doesn't even know it. The author's name is Hester Fox. I kind of wonder if it's a pen name. It might not be, but Hester is typically a name associated with the Salem witch trials, you know. So just curious. And then foxes are commonly associated with witches too, as familiars, you know. I don't know, I'm just wondering if it might be a pen name. It might not be at all, but okay, so it says, take this as a warning. If you are not able or willing to control yourself, it will be not only you who suffers the consequences, but those around you as well. That is a true statement. That is very accurate. Okay, so New Oldbury, 1821. In the wake of a scandal, the Montrose family and their three daughters, Catherine, Lydia, and Emmeline, flee Boston for their new country home, Willow Hall. The estate seems sleepy and idyllic, but a subtle menace creeps into the atmosphere, a remnant of a dark history that calls to Lydia and to the youngest Emmeline. All three daughters will be irrevocably changed by what follows, but none more than Lydia, who must draw on a power she has never known, she possessed if she wants to protect those she loves, for Willow Hall's secrets will rise in the end. I think this sounds so good, but I definitely, I'm gonna save it for next fall. I'll just make a little pile in one of my bookshelves for books I intend to read next fall. This one has super cool pages. I'm not sure you can tell on camera, but they look almost like they're torn. The cut of the pages on the edge is rough cut, like they've been torn out of a notebook or something. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. This book feels newer, like just the size of it in general, being like wider like this. It seems like more recent. Yeah, 2018. This was written in 2018. So that one I'm excited about. And then, let's see, I have this one. This is like a young adult book, but it looks super interesting. Like, when I read the back, I was like, ooh, I want to read that. It's called Serpent Tide. Serpent Tide. And there's like a woman clinging to like a rocky cliffside, holding a baby. And there's like waves crashing up around them. And then the S on the serpent is like a snake. And then this was written by Fogg is the last name. I don't know the first name. Fogg is all that's listed on the cover. It's only on the side. So it says, Wesley Vandergrift wonders why he isn't like the other boys in his coastal Southern Carolina town. It's not easy being the son of an eccentric billionaire mother. His life consists of big secrets in a big mansion and only one friend. Overprotected, insulated from the rest of the world, Wesley yearns for the kind of exciting outdoor adventures he sees on The Snake Stalker, his favorite TV program, starring the dynamic Jack McKee. Now, through a twist of fate, Wesley meets someone who knows his hero, Jack McKee, a real live relative, and soon Wesley finds himself in a more of an adventure than he bargained for. Dare to take the plunge with Wesley on an exciting journey of shipwrecks, venomous snakes, and kidnappers. The legendary curse of the Serpent Tide will forever change Wesley's life, and perhaps yours. Doesn't that sound interesting? I'm excited to check this one out, and then of course, when I finish these, like, I will put them out in the little free library. But we have there's such a large collection now, like, the library's always full, so, I'm just reading these first before I stick them out there, but I already have, like, a bunch more that I have to cycle through in the basement, so don't worry, there's plenty for the library. Okay, so then I have two books, by the author Anne Perry, and I'm pretty sure this is the author I'm thinking of. You better Google it and double check me, but I'm pretty sure Anne Perry is the author that when she was very young, her and her best friend murdered her best friend's mother. And, they did their time in prison, and when she got out, she became an author. Anne Perry did. A very, famous murder mystery author. So, fairly morbid and creepy, but I believe that is this author, so Google it to be sure, because I wouldn't want to be, accidentally thinking of the wrong author, but, I think it was Anne Perry. So this is, a Victorian mystery. They're both from the Victorian Mystery series by Anne Perry. She has several different series, but these ones are the Victorian mysteries, and I have a few more of those up in that shelf as well. So this one is called Death in the Devil's Acre. It's a very neat looking cover. I like this vintage cover. It's very cool. It says the London slums are hardly the place place for a well-to-do, especially if they wind up dead. Okay, so actually I want to see when this is written. It's giving 70s maybe, but oh no, it's later. It's much later. It's 1985. 1985 is when this book was published. So it says an Inspector Thomas Pitt and Charlotte Pitt mystery. Anne Perry has made this particular era her own literary preserve. When a doctor is found brutally murdered in the lurid section of London aptly named Devil's Acre, even its most hardened residents are stunned, but shock soon turns to horror when Inspector Pitt discovers 3 more bodies with the same gruesome calling card, a stab wound in the back, and a rather inexpertly executed mutilation. As Pitt and his wife Charlotte race against time to find the killer, a treacherous mystery unfolds, and no one, not the lowest brand of ruffian or the most established aristocrat, will come out unscathed. So that's that one, and then this one, also a Victorian mystery, is called Silence in Hanover Close. Silence in Hanover Close. Murder pays a call to exclusive London's elegant drawing rooms. And so this one is 1988. Someone was writing something in here. I'm not really sure what they were figuring out there, but someone wrote in there. Alright, so it says, when Inspector Thomas Pitt was asked to reopen a 3-year-old murder case which had taken place in London's luxurious Hanover Close, he was all too aware that his superiors wanted him to smooth things over. But penetrating the reserve of high society households would take more finesse than Pitt could muster. Enter Charlotte Pitt, his well-born wife, and her sister Emily. As the social equals of the inhabitants of the close, the women would be privy to conversation that would never reach the ears of a mere policeman. What they found was a secret so shocking it would lead to more deaths and quite possibly Pitt's own. Ooh, that one sounds good. Okay, so then I have these ones. Oh, I thought there were 3 of these, but there are 4 actually. So these are about like war strategy from the Revolutionary War. So this one is Lexington, Concord, and the beginning of the American Revolution, the first stroke. And they've got neat pictures and stuff. Maps, like helping to illustrate the battles and pictures of what towns would have looked like back during the Revolutionary War. So there's that one, and then this one is called Decision on the Hudson. These are all things occurring around the Revolutionary War. Oh, let's not look at that one. That one's kind of disturbing picture of a battlefield. We'll skip that one. But here's another farming field for an encounter. These were all like found together in the same stack. I assume they're all part of like some collection. It was a part of reference material for a library. And this one is the story of George Washington's Fort Necessity. There he is, George Washington. So, yeah, these are all about the Revolutionary War. This one has a really cool cover. It like wraps around the back. So these will go with like my historical reference books. I have a whole shelf. It's this one here with those leather-bound books right there. Victory at Yorktown. So this is